Hi guys, so welcome to quick start Finalfluid with Tyflow tutorial. And I have this Tyflow setup. If I open editor, I have particle starting at -8 frame and ends at 20 with 40 per frame, and I have speed assigned with 12 magnitude and some divergence, and I assign shape operator. This shape operator is very important, and we need to increase the scale size of the shape operator. So this will act as emitter size for the Finalfluid. So now let's create Finalfluid Grid. So we go to helper node, click on Finalfluid here, Finalfluid Grid, and let's create. So I create a pretty big huge grid with more height, so I will increase depth here, width and depth here as well. Okay, and we also need to create Finalfluid Emitter, so let's create that as well. And we need to pick the particle, so select the Tyflow. Okay, so you can see, and we have parameters is global, so we will control all the advection parameters from this Finalfluid Grid. So make sure it's set to global. You can have individual emitter with local setting as well, but let's keep it global for now. And if I go to Finalfluid Grid and click on select device, and I have this Windows GPU selected 2080 Ti, and pick the emitters. So we pick the emitter and let's click on preview. So right now it's not only we need to enable geometry cache, so it will play entire timeline, and we need to click cache to cache it. So if I click preview now, we have this particle animation working. So by default it doesn't look very nice, so that's because we have velocity mask set to 1. That creates very small vortices, so let's make it 0.1 first. And if I increase this emitter size, I also need to close this preview window and select Finalfluid Grid and cache again if I change the setting. So for the explosion we need to turn on big effect mode, so I'll turn that on, and let's go to advection and just assign some buoyancy first, 100, 250. So now we see the movement, but let's give some fuel, so let's try something like 30, a little bit temperature and little bit smoke here, and we start to see. So let's try 40 for the fuel. Let's increase buoyancy a little bit more. So now it's moving, but smoke is disappearing abruptly, so we need to click on sparsity, check on sparsity, and increase the smoke weight to 1. So now smoke will stay, and if we click on debug, we can see the voxels blocks are creating where the smoke and temperature is. We can increase the simulation speed 1.5, so it will be fast moving explosion. Let's decrease this increase temperature to 0. Burn per temperature, that how much fuel burn will happen per temperature, we can reduce it to. So one thing is, if I decrease this fuel per burn, explosion will last longer based on this cooling rate, as you can see now. So let's keep it like 1, and cooling rate I can dial in like 4, so it will cool down faster. Still we are on pretty much low resolution here. As you can see, we are not filling all the blocks, so let's increase the memory to 5, and let's decrease the cell size to 8. So now we can see more details. And we can go to fluid emitter and increase a little bit smoke, temperature, and let's increase smoke here as well, smoke per burn. A little bit more temperature, 5. And this divergence PBs work like a pressure, so if we increase, we will have more expansion to the simulation. As if I try 20 or 40, we can see that. As you can see, it's now expanding a lot. So let's keep it like 8, and we will decrease cell size even more, 6, for more detail. We can increase current for the vorticity, so we will have some very small vortices more. If we increase smoke mass, it will give us like a nuke explosion, as you can see here, but let's keep it very low value, or maybe 0. We can also increase fuel mass a bit for the vorticity, and that will affect initial explosion. So you can dial in all these settings in real time and see the changes here. So if I reduce burn per temperature, I have smoke dying really fast, and if I make it 4, you can see. And we can animate all of these settings here. For example, I can start buoyancy very early, like 800, and at frame 40 I can do like 400. Cooling I can start at 1, and at 40 I can do like 4. Smoke I can start like 10 in the beginning, and at 40 I can reduce it to 4. And fuel burn I can start at 0.5, and at 40 I can do it like 1.5, or maybe 2.6 only. So that's it. You can dial in all the settings and do have nice explosion in real time. I can even fade the velocity faster, so it will slow down as it goes. And if I do fading of temperature, we will have more yellowish temperature, and temperature will fade out faster, so you will see fireball less. And for the smoke, if I increase, it will fade faster like this. And if I do low value, we will have some smoke staying. So if I close and click preview again, we can see we can have smoke staying for the longer time. So that's it. I hope you like this tutorial.